Imagine a scenario where one of the most powerful institutions in the U.S. faces potential upheaval because of an unprecedented legal battle. That's exactly what's happening as Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook takes on former President Donald Trump in court to prevent her removal from office, a move that could reshape the future of economic policy in America. At the heart of this controversy is a lawsuit filed by Cook, who argues that Trump's attempt to fire her violates federal law and undermines the independence of the Federal Reserve. According to Cook's attorney, Abby Lowell, this action represents a dangerous precedent that has never before been seen in the history of the Fed. This case challenges President Trump's extraordinary and unlawful effort to remove Governor Cook, Lowell wrote in the complaint. He emphasized that the Federal Reserve Act explicitly states a governor can only be dismissed for cause, which refers to serious misconduct such as neglect of duty or malfeasance, not unsubstantiated claims about personal financial matters. The case now rests with Judge Gia Cobb, appointed by President Joe Biden in late 2021. Cook is seeking a declaration that Trump's termination order is invalid and legally unenforceable. Furthermore, she wants the court to affirm that allegations surrounding her mortgage applications do not meet the threshold of cause required for removal. In the filing, Lowell defines cause as actions like inefficiency, failure to perform official duties, or unethical behavior while holding public office. The suit also clarifies that Powell and other members of the Fed board are involved solely to the extent that they might implement Trump's directive if it were deemed legitimate. What makes this story even more compelling is the historic nature of Cook's role. Appointed by Biden in 2022 and confirmed by the Senate, Cook became the first black woman to serve on the Federal Reserve Board in its 111-year existence. Her term is slated to run until 2038, underscoring the significance of her position and the stakes involved in this legal battle. But here's where things get tricky and controversial. The White House has pushed back against Cook's stance, asserting that Trump acted within his rights when he decided to terminate her. Spokesman Kush Desai stated that the president removed Cook due to credible accusations related to alleged inaccuracies in her financial documents prior to her Senate confirmation. This decision strengthens accountability and trust in the Federal Reserve, Desai argued, suggesting that removing someone under these circumstances benefits both the markets and the public. However, Cook's legal team insists that the mortgage-related accusations are merely a smokescreen designed to allow Trump to install loyalists at the Fed and chip away at its autonomy. In a separate motion requesting a temporary restraining order, Lowell reiterated that the allegations against Cook are baseless. Even if there had been some minor error, he contended, it wouldn't justify her dismissal, especially since the supposed infraction occurred long before she joined the board. Lowell elaborated, determining whether something qualifies as cause requires evaluating multiple factors: timing, relevance to official responsibilities, and severity. To illustrate his point, he used a hypothetical example. Even undeniable proof that a governor jaywalked decades ago wouldn't constitute grounds for removal. Adding another layer of complexity, the Department of Justice, DOJ, announced plans to investigate the mortgage claims after receiving a referral from Bill Pulte, director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, and a vocal critic of Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Pulte, along with the DOJ and the White House, has called for Cook's immediate resignation based on these allegations. Yet just hours after Trump publicly shared his termination letter via Truth Social, Cook vowed to remain steadfast in her duties, pledging to continue supporting the American economy, as she has since taking office in 2022. So, what happens next? The crux of this legal drama hinges on whether the courts, and possibly the Supreme Court, will side with Cook's interpretation of the law. Under the Federal Reserve Act, presidents may remove governors only for specific reasons tied to their performance in office. Notably, Cook hasn't been formally charged with, let alone convicted of, any wrongdoing, including mortgage fraud. If Trump succeeds in ousting Cook, it could pave the way for him to appoint a majority of the 7-member Fed board. During a recent cabinet meeting, Trump boasted about nearing this milestone, saying, "We'll have a majority very shortly, so that'll be great." But does achieving a majority justify bypasses established norms? And should political motivations influence decisions traditionally insulated from partisan pressures? These questions highlight the broader debate over the balance of power between the executive branch and independent agencies like the Fed. As the legal process unfolds, one thing is clear. The outcome of this case could set a lasting precedent for how future administrations interact with the central bank. Do you think Trump's actions are justified, or do they pose a threat to the Fed's independence? Share your thoughts below. We'd love to hear from you.